any victim's family. Do not possess any alcohol or legal drugs, and possess no firearms or weapons. Given the nature of the charges, the recommendation of the state is a $1 million bond. Pretrial services is recommending a bond as well. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd ask for a bond for $500,000, half of what the state is recommending. He's a juvenile. It looks like his mom can take third-party custody of him, so he has somewhere to go. Just given his age and that he has somewhere to live, we'd ask for half the amount the state's requesting.
Did the state wish to add anything to your written recommendations?
Just, Your Honor, that there is a prior conviction for violence. He was placed on probation, and the nature and circumstances of the offense, where first degree is looking at a life sentence if convicted.
Right. Mateo, the court shares the state's concerns. I'm going to set bond at $1 million for today. That can be modified once the court gets more information about your circumstances and your history. For now, your bond is set at $1 million with a court date, preliminary hearing of April 22nd at 1:30. Thank you, sir. You're excused. Good luck to you.
You have a question? Yeah. I'm sorry, one moment, Your Honor, if I may. He has a question for me. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. What's your name?
Troy Hall.
Mr. Hall, this is a review hearing. I guess you've got a local case and an out-of-county hold. Do you have another court date coming up here in Pima County?
No.
Excuse me 1 second. I have a quick question for my court staff. This one that says bond of $250 under, is that the Maricopa County case?
Yeah, that's
Okay. So if he
I
could,
think he had something else in the spirit for.
she does have another hold. Okay. You just like our records show you do have another hold here locally. So we're going to set another review hearing in about a month. That'll be May 10th at 9 o'clock. All right, thank you, sir. You're excused.
Hey, Your Honor, I got a question. I already paid my bond. So
Okay. So if you paid your bond for the Maricopa County case, then that would not hold you, but if a local hold can hold you. And so if you obviously get released on both, you need to attend your court dates on your own.
okay. Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
Andrew back over there.
And Your Honor, I have not set over the state's recommendation. Actually, I had a few questions because I did not see a pretrial service report unless I'm having additional computer issues.
No, I'm with you there because I got a face sheet that was printed out. with the recommendation to release to the supervision of pretrial services, but there's nothing for me to click. The name is not listed on the website. So perhaps if pretrial services can hear the court, we're looking for that to be added to the website so we could take a look.
Okay, he should be there now.
Request. There it is. Okay, give us just a minute here to review this. Ms. Farkas, take as much time as you need. I'm gonna just start chatting with Mr. Rivera here. Mr. Rivera, you've got a number of charges here today. The first are charges from yesterday, felony charge of possession of a dangerous drug. You also have a drug paraphernalia possession charge, refusing to give a true name. Those are all from yesterday. You have failure to appear warrants for drug paraphernalia and trespass out of Tucson City Court. For the felony case, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have the right to remain silent. I'm going to order that you do not possess any alcohol or illegal drugs. Pretrial Services is recommending that you be released to their supervision for the felony case and that you may be eligible for smart court.
Okay.
Ms. Farkas, let me know if you're ready to make a recommendation as well.
I am, sir, and I will forward this, so you have the paperwork. Seeing the pretrial service report and, seeing the charge, I was going to request a bond, however, based on the pretrial services, information and the nature of the charge, no objection to, release under pretrial services with all of their conditions
Sure.
listed.
All right, Mr. Rivera, for the felony charge, I'm going to file a recommendation and release you to the supervision of pretrial services, subject to monitoring or treatment. You may also be eligible for Smart Court, which is a program if completed successfully could result in a more favorable outcome for your case. Are you interested in learning more about that?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'm going to schedule a Smart Court hearing April 17th at 9 o'clock. That's in addition to your preliminary hearing date, which is April 30th at 1:30. You must attend both court dates. And your attorney can give you more information about that Smart Court program. So that's just this is the first case. You've got more.
Okay.
In the middle, all the runs the first line.
All right. So you've got the drug paraphernalia and failure to provide a truthful name charge on it's a misdemeanor. They separated the citation, so you're going to have a separate court date, separate judge. So on that case, since you've got the pretrial services supervision, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear on the misdemeanor case. You promise to appear in court on May 10th at 8:30 for your misdemeanor case.
Yes, I do, sir.
No alcohol, no legal drugs, of course, for that. All right, on your drug paraphernalia charge in city court, I'm going to again, order that you possess and consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. For the trespass charge, do not return to the incident locations. No contact with any victims. This is a separate court date. I'm going to release you from jail. Your court date for this one will be May 20th at 9:30. That's your fourth court date I'm giving you today. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do not return to within 300 feet of 1017 North 7th. All right, keep all your court dates there. Otherwise, if you miss court, there'll be warrants for your arrest. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Mr. McCall? There, have a seat. Come on up, sir, Brian, chair. Okay, sir, I'm sorry.
Good morning. What's your name?
It's Dennis McCall.
Mr. McCall, you're charged with domestic violence assault and domestic violence disorderly conduct from April 9th. You have the right to an attorney, the right to remain silent. I'm going to order that you commit no acts of domestic violence. I'm going to release you in order that you return to Marana City Court May 1st at 10 a.m. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You're excused.
Megan Moore. No, sir. All the way out.
Hello, what's your name?
Megan Orr.
So you're charged with 2 counts of domestic violence disorderly conduct from April 9th. I'm going to release you and order that you appear in court, but there'll be some conditions. First of all, do not commit any acts of domestic violence. Double check one thing here. Do not have any contact with the alleged victim. Do not return to the victim's residence or workplace, which may be your own, unless you have law enforcement escort to pick up your personal belongings. Your court date will be May 8th at 10:30. Do you promise to appear in court?
Yes.
Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Ramirez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning. What's your name?
Gerardo Ramirez.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, looks like you've got a warrant out of Nogales City
Yes,
Court.
Your
The court has not been given a copy of warrant.
Yeah.
I need to release you. Nogales City Court has also not provided us with an attorney to appoint if in fact I were to hold you. So I'm going to release you on that case. You must return to address this charge. It's going to keep on coming back. April 17th at 8:30 in Nogales Municipal Court. Do you promise you'll appear?
I will go pay that money right now, sir. That's good.
Yeah, it looks like the case is still pending, so I'm not sure you can just pay it. You'll have to go to court April 17th at 8:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you want to contact them and see if you can get a sooner court date and take care of it earlier, that's fine too. Do not drive without a valid driver's license.
Yes, sir.
You have another case, which is another suspended license. That's here in Pima County Justice Court. I'm going to release you on that in order that you return to court. Okay, have to have a court date, May 10th at 8:30. Do not drive without a valid license. On both of these cases, you have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. All right, make sure you keep your court dates this time. You're excused. Yep.
Oh, wait. You'll get it later. Appreciate it.
Hi, what's your name?
Chloe Sweeney?
You got a warrant on a 2020 drug paraphernalia case. The warrant was issued, over 3 years ago, February 17th of 2021. It's a Rule 26.12 warrant, which says to the court that your case was resolved, but you may be either delinquent on payments or proof of something such as counseling, if that was required as part of your case. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, failure to pay the fines, failure to complete substance abuse evaluation and treatment recommendations. And do you have that proof you can show to the court?
I do not.
And I'm assuming that the amount you owe is $1,000. If I set that as the bond, can you post that today?
I can try.
Do you know how much you owe in fines and stuff like that? Have you checked with them recently?
No, Your Honor, I haven't.
All right, what I'm going to do is rather than have you post a bond here, I'm going to have you can pay that money to Sarita to get your fines paid. So I'm going to release you and give you a court date. You have to attend court May 7th at 8:30. So contact Sarita Municipal Court today. Their phone number will be on the paperwork. Find out what you owe.
Okay.
Pay that in full before your court date. And then if you haven't got your counseling done, arrange for that so that you can come back to court and show the court what you've done and that you've made progress. Otherwise, I'm not sure what the judge will do there. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right, take care of this. You're excused.
Thank you.
The gate?
My dress gets caught under the wheels. All right, I think we're moving on to the city court cases. What's your name?
Alice TBK.
I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing that.
Alice TBK.
Thank you. You have 2 counts of trespassing, both from the same date and location. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea. You have the right to an attorney, the right to remain silent. So I'm inclined to release you from jail today. If I do that, do you promise that you'll return to city court and appear in court May 14th at 9 a.m.? Did you hear me?
Yes, sir. I am listening.
All right. So if I do release you from jail today, do you promise that you'll appear in city court on May 14th at 9 o'clock?
Consent, I'm listening, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, do you understand if you're released from jail today that you must appear in court?
Yes, sir.
And if I release you, your court date will be May 14th at 9 o'clock in Tucson City Court. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you promise you'll appear in court that day if you get let out of jail today?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I will release you on the conditions that you do not return to that instant location on golf links within 300 feet and do not contact any victims. Thank you. You're excused.
Better Butler?
What's your name?
Frederick Butler.
All right, Mr. Butler, you got a few different citations here. One you weren't aware of until today. I'm about to tell you about a complaint from April 15th of 2023, so about a year ago. But before I start, I've got a couple, what is your correct date of birth, Mr. Butler?
10/14/69.
10/14/69. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so from April 15th, you're charged with domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct, domestic violence threats and intimidation. From April 9th of this year, you're charged with disorderly conduct. From that same date and time, you're charged with domestic violence disorderly conduct and criminal damage, domestic violence. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on those charges. You do have the right to an attorney and the right to remain silent. So I'm inclined to release you as recommended by pretrial services, but there'll be some conditions. First of all, if you're released, you promise you'll return to city court for your arraignment on May 14th at 1:30.
Yes, sir.
Other conditions include no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, have no contact with Amanda Ringer or any other victims, do not return to the victim's residence or workplace. Do you agree to this?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. You're excused and released.
Done?
Good morning. What's your name?
Joel Dunst.
You're charged with domestic violence disorderly conduct from April 9th. You have the right to an attorney, the right to remain silent. Your court date will be May 14th at 1:30. If I release you from jail today, do you promise to appear at that court date in Tucson City Court?
You said May 14th at 1:30?
I did.
Yes.
Your other conditions while on release include committing no acts of domestic violence. Do not contact Sarah Dunst, and do not return to the victim's residence or workplace unless you have law enforcement escort to retrieve your personal belongings. Good luck. Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
Magruder, I mean, next. Your Honor, and if I may, do we have the Farsi Dari interpreter?
We do not. So I'll be addressing it. We'll call the gentleman in and then I'm going to be releasing him and giving him a court date.
Okay, so do you want to still see him?
Yeah, we'll still bring him in. I mean, is he available?
Yes, he is.
Okay, thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Latifa Magruder.
Ms. Magruder, you're charged with domestic violence assault and 2 counts of domestic violence disorderly conduct from April 9th. If I release you, do you promise to return to city court on May 13th at 9:30 for your arraignment or for a pretrial? Sorry.
Yes.
All right, I'll do that. There'll be other conditions which include committing no acts of domestic violence, have no contact with any victims in this case, and do not return to the incident location on Pantano Road, victim's residence or workplace. All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Lily? Last one, 4.
Are you Azim Khalili?
Yes, sir.
Do you speak any English?
No English, Dari.
Thank you. All right, we do not have an interpreter available again today. I'm going to release Mr. Khalili from jail. Court date will be May 14th at 1:30. I understand that the defendant cannot understand what I'm saying today, but I'm not going to hold him again for the second time. based on a lack of an interpreter. The court's going to follow the recommendation of pretrial services. Court date will be May 14th at 1:30. The jail wouldn't mind making sure the defendant is aware or gets a copy of this order, of course, with the court date on it. Additional conditions include committing no acts of domestic violence, no contact with any victims, do not return to the victim's residence or workplace unless the defendant has law enforcement escort. So, Mr. Khalili, you'll be released from custody today. I understand you may not understand what the court's saying, but I don't want to hold you in jail further simply because you can't understand the court. Thank you. You're excused.
Let you know. Let you know. Today. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. No, you're fine.
May I please have the felony files?
Is the Spanish interpreter next, Your Honor? The Spanish case next?
Could be.
Quédate, por favor, que está la señorita y el abogado.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Hello, what's your name?
Buenos días. ¿Qué es su nombre?
Avelino Pérez Ramírez.
Abelino Pérez Ramírez.
All right, so in this case, there's a recommendation from pretrial services that we continue this matter to the evening session
Bueno,
to
en
gather
este
more
ca-
information.
En este caso hay una recomendación de los servicios preprocesales para postergar este caso para la noche para que ellos puedan compilar más información.
Does the defense have any objection to that recommendation?
El juez pregunta si la defensa se opone a esa recomendación.
No, Your Honor, if it's gonna be able to give pretrial more time to verify information, possibly get them released, then.
No,
objection.
su señoría, porque si acaso esto le dará tiempo a los servicios preprocesales para obtener más información para que él sea liberado, está bien.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Perez Ramirez. In order to get more information, we're going to move your case to 7 o'clock tonight, so a better decision can be made regarding your release.
Bueno, señor Pérez Ramírez, para poder obtener más información sobre su caso, se va a postergar esto para las 7 de la noche para poder tener mejor información para su liberación.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck.
Gracias, señor. Buena suerte. Es todo.
Es todo.
That's all? Okay. And may interpreter be excused, Your Honor.
Yes,
Thank you. Good day.
you bet. Morning, what's your name?
Devin Antoine, Your Honor, and good morning.
Morning. Mr. Antoine, you have a citation for criminal trespass and criminal damage from April 9th in Tucson City Court. That's your first case. I'm going to enter a not guilty. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on that. You also have a warrant out of Santa Cruz County. For vehicle theft. On that case, I'm going to order that you do not contact any victim, do not return to any incident locations. You have the right to an attorney, the right to remain silent. Just looking at one more piece of paper here for you, sir. All right, on that out-of-county warrant, sir, I'm going to set a bond of $500. I'm going to appoint this Santa Cruz County, I'm going to appoint counsel as to be determined by the Santa Cruz County Office of Court Appointed Counsel. I'm going to give you a court date here of May 10th at 9 a.m. That's simply a review hearing to see whether Santa Cruz County has picked you up. And I'm going to give them up to 48 hours to do so. If not, you'll be released and you must attend your court date on your own. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
On the city court case, I'm going to appoint an attorney just to track you just in case you remain in custody. His name is Scott Redmond. I'm going to give you what's called a non-transport review date, which is going to be on May 9th at 2 o'clock. If you remain in custody here locally and they want to see you in court sooner, that's no problem. You just let your attorney know and we can get you into court. If you're out of custody by May 9th, which I'm guessing is pretty likely, make sure you must attend your court date in city court. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Good luck. You're excused.
Thank you.
Yep.
Joshua Butler.
Good morning. What is your name?
Joshua Butler.
All right, counsel. There is a suggestion or recommendation from pretrial services to continue this matter to the next session to gather more information regarding their recommendation for release. Is there any objection to continue this matter to the evening session?
Well, I see that Ms. Farkas did a recommendation for pretrial release. And I think given the nature of the offense, that's what I would be asking for as well. I don't know if that helps the court make an inclination as to whether or not you want to do that this morning. If you think you're inclined to do that this morning, then I would ask to move forward with it now. But if your Honor thinks more information would be beneficial, then we would have no objection to the continuance.
Your
I
Honor,
guess yes.
if I may, I apologize. I think that is, I did not do a recommendation for the Joshua Butler because I thought it was being continued. I don't know if my system, if I added the next hearings information on his, because for the DV ag assault, I was not recommending release.
Yeah,
So
we did get it. So it may have been an error. We have a copy of your recommendation, which was enhanced pretrial services
Yes.
and smart court. So that made me suspicious that maybe this was an error.
Thank you. Yes, it was.
So that document that was submitted, not with this case, just withdraw that.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Okay.
Well, then, given that, Your Honor, if the court would like more information, pretrial would like more time to gather information, and that could possibly help for his release, then we have no objection to his continuance.
All right. You okay with that, Mr. Butler? All that's happening is you'll be seen tonight at 7 o'clock. Usually, the more information can be more helpful.
So I'm going to be held until 7 o'clock tonight.
May I have a moment with him, Your Honor?
Yeah. Just to make sure you understand.
Your Honor, the defense would like, after speaking with Mr. Butler, the defense would like to withdraw its objection and move forward with the hearing this morning. He'd like to, he would like to move forward with the hearing this morning, Your Honor.
Okay. I need a moment then to review what materials we do have.
DOT stuff. Yeah, I know. So this is very inconvenient.
All right, we'll start from scratch. Please state your name.
State your
Oh,
name.
I'm sorry, Joshua Butler.
All right, Mr. Butler, from April 10th, you are charged with domestic violence, aggravated assault. You have the right to an attorney. I'll appoint the county public defender to represent you. You have the right to remain silent. The conditions of release include having no contact at all with the listed victim in this case, not returning to the victim's residence or workplace unless you were to have law enforcement escort to retrieve your personal belongings. Of course, commit no acts of domestic violence. There is no recommendation at this point for the reasons stated earlier from pretrial services. Is the state, are you prepared to make a recommendation, Ms. Farkas,
Yes,
based
Your
upon
Honor.
what you know now?
Based upon just reviewing the, not just the pretrial service report, but also, looking at the criminal, the PSA scores, it looks like there are some, or at least a prior misdemeanor conviction, don't know what that is. And there was some sentencing to incarceration. Again, I don't know what that is because again, there's nothing listed in his criminal history except for that there's an active order of protection, but not on this victim. However, based on the nature and circumstances of the offense, one thing is that I've learned from our DV unit is there is a high lethality associated with domestic violence strangulation, and 43% of all women who are murdered have been previously strangled by their partner. When someone has been strangled, there is an 800% increase in the likelihood of that person being murdered. Based on this state's concern for this victim, and that even though the order of protection is not on this particular victim, but that another person has an order of protection on him for other reasons, the state is requesting a $45,000 bond.
I'm going to note that on the order, since there's not going to be your recommendation is not in writing unless you're going to submit that, but I put that on the order as well. All right.
Thank you, and I will.
Okay, thank you. All right, defense?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I can appreciate the state's concerns given the nature of the arrest. However, he doesn't have any prior felony criminal history. Mr. Butler is informing me that he's going through the hiring process right now at Raytheon, that he has separate living arrangements, that he can live with his mother. Additionally, he doesn't have any prior violent history that we know of, and we don't know much about the nature of this offense or the arrest or the circumstances right now. He's just been arrested. So without any context to the arrest or the offense, on his lack of criminal history and his ability to find separate housing, I'd ask for his release to pretrial services or a bond of $2,000.
All right, thank you. The court does have context for the offense based upon the the interim complaint. And the court shares the state's concerns about safety. The court's going to set a bond of $10,000, taking into account what the defense argument is, as well as the state. Your court date will be a preliminary hearing on April 22nd at 1:30. If you do post a bond, you will be supervised and monitored by pretrial services. Good luck, sir. Thank you.
$5. Is that how that works? No.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yes.
What's that?
Hi, what's your name?
Caballero.
All right, ma'am, you're charged with possession of a drug paraphernalia and possession of a narcotic drug from April 10th. I'm going to appoint an attorney for you, the county public defender. You have the right to remain silent. The order to possess no alcohol, no legal drugs. Going to follow the recommendation of pretrial services in the state and release you to the enhanced supervision of pretrial services, subject to monitoring and treatment. Your preliminary hearing date will be April 30th at 1:30. You may also be eligible for a SMART Court, which is a program, if you complete successfully, could result in a more favorable outcome of your case. Are you interested in learning more about SMART Court?
Yes.
All right, I'll schedule a hearing for that. A SMART Court hearing April 17th at 9 a.m. That's a separate court date from your preliminary hearing. Do you promise to appear for both court dates?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You are released to the supervision of pretrial services. You're excused.
Donaldson?
Hi, what's your name?
Dominic Donaldson?
Mr. Donaldson, you have a couple of charges here. The first is a new felony charge of possession or trying to take contraband into a correctional facility. Your attorney will be the county public defender. You have the right to remain silent. You are, of course, ordered to possess no alcohol or illegal drugs. State's recommending, pretrial is recommending release to the supervision of pretrial services under the enhanced supervision program. I'm going to follow that recommendation and release you accordingly. Your court date will be a preliminary hearing April 30th at 1:30. Do you promise to appear in court if you're released?
Yes, sir.
Your second case is a warrant for shoplifting. This is a county case. If I release you on that matter, do you promise you'll appear to Pima County Justice Court on May 10th at 8:30 to answer to these charges?
Yes, I will.
This is a separate court date. You must keep both court dates. Do you understand that?
Okay.
All right, no contact with any victim on the shoplifting. Do not return to any incident locations. Thank you. You're
I'm
excused.
sorry, Your Honor. He has a question. May I pause for a moment? Or
Yes.
mute for a moment? Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Dominic? Oh, yeah, sir. Dominic.
What's your name?
Manuel Dorame?
You were charged with theft from April 9th of 2024. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you as your attorney. You have the right to remain silent. You're ordered not to have any contact with any victims and do not return to any incident locations. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to follow the recommendation of pretrial services and release you on your promise to appear in court. Do you promise to appear for your preliminary hearing April 30th at 1:30 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
I thank you, you're excused.
Benjamin?
Hello, what's your name?
John Regaman.
All right, you got felony charges plus cases out of Marana and South Tucson. Let's start with the felony charge. You're charged with organized retail theft, which is like felony shoplifting, from April 9th. You've got out of South Tucson, a warrant for failure to appear on a shoplifting charge. You got a warrant for failure to appear on a shoplifting charge out of Marana. Actually make that 1, 2, 3. On the felony, on all these charges, I'm ordering that you do not have any contact with any victim. You do not return to any incident locations, possess no alcohol or illegal drugs. On the felony case, pretrial services is recommending release to their supervision. Given, I think the FTA warrants and repeated offenses, I think this, that's why the state's asking for a bond of $2,500. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, I would ask for his release to pretrial services. This is a nonviolent offense. He only has one prior conviction. It looks like that was from 2014. It looks like he was placed on probation and successfully completed probation at that time. So I think that indicates that he's amenable to being supervised and checking in and doing what he needs to do. So for those reasons, I'd ask for his release to pretrial.
Mr. Eggman, obviously the courts, I mean, I'm concerned about appearance history. I've got cases here where you just, you know, at least 4 of them where you promise to appear and just don't show up. So 4 times, once that happens, you stop believing that the person is just going to show up. I'm going to take one more chance on you, sir. I'm hoping that and expecting that enhanced supervision from pretrial services will improve the odds that you show up in court and do not commit any new violations. So you need to understand, however, that you're only supervised technically on the felony charge. The misdemeanor charges in Marana and South Tucson, you are responsible for getting yourself to court. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So for the felony case, your court date will be a preliminary hearing April 30th at 1:30 p.m. You promise to appear?
Yes, I do.
I can tell you for me, the next, if you release you on your promise to appear. On the Marana case, I'm going to note that you have felony enhanced supervision. And release you in order that you return to Marana City Court on May 1st at 10 o'clock. Do you understand this? And you promise you'll appear in Marana and that at that time?
Yes, sir.
Finally, for your South Tucson case, same deal. I'm going to note that you are on enhanced supervision for felony. Release you in order that you return to South Tucson Court April 23rd at 10 o'clock. Do you promise to appear then?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You're excused.
Gates?
What's your name?
Christopher Gates.
Need just an extra minute for Mr. Gates here. Okay, I remember now. Okay. Mr. Gates, you're charged with possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of a narcotic drug from April 10th. You separately have a complaint for criminal damage from April 10th as well. Since you may have been on release at the time of these events, the prosecution is asking that I hold you without bond as a mandatory condition of release. Pretrial Services is recommending a bond as well. Defense?
Your Honor, I don't think I have an argument for release, given that the state's asking for no bond and they're statutorily able to ask for that. I don't think I have any arguments I can make for it.
All right, thank you, sir. There is sufficient grounds here to hold you without bond for the felony charges. I'm going to do so and schedule 2 court dates for you. The first is April 22nd at 1:30. That's your preliminary hearing date. The second will be an earlier court date, April 15th. That's in about 5 days. That's relating to the conditions of release, the hold without bond. So that'll be reviewed a little quicker in case there's any errors or that needs to be changed. You are ordered to possess no alcohol or illegal drugs, no contact with any victims, of course, no return to any incident locations. Mr. Oops. I have 2 orders to fill out, so it's going to take me just twice as long, which is still not too.
Your Honor, he has a question. May I mute for a second?
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Graves, you have one more case, which is animal neglect case from October of 2023. There was a failure to appear warrant. On that case, since you already have these other holds, I'm not going to add additional bond. I'm going to release you. Since you have another hold, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you.
Thank you.
So they can track your status. I'm going to schedule a non-transport review hearing May 9th at 2. If your attorney and you want to be seen in court sooner than that, there's no problem. We can get you to court sooner than that, okay? So I'm going to appoint your attorney, Jeff Grinkowicz. We'll notify him of your incarceration.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Gavin?
Hi, what's your name?
James Gavigan. Morning.
Morning, Mr. Gavigan. You're charged with possession of a dangerous drug, possession of a dangerous drug, prohibited possessor violation, and trespass in the 3rd degree, all from April 9th. I'm going to appoint the county public defender to represent you. You have the right to remain silent. Your conditions of release include no firearms or weapons, no. Click the wrong box here. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Court's going to follow the recommendations and release you to the supervision of pretrial services subject to monitoring or treatment. Your court date will be a preliminary hearing date, April 30th at 1:30. Do you promise you'll appear in court?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Mr. Macklin?
Hi, what's your name?
Leroy McGlynn. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. All right, Mr. McLean's got some other holds already, including hold without bond for a felony probation. There's a warrant for you, sir. Offense dates February 15th of 2024. Misconduct involving weapons, 2 counts. Dangerous drugs for sale, narcotic drug possession or violation, and narcotic drug possession for sale. The warrant was issued on March 29th of 2024 for failure to appear at initial appearance or arraignment. So I guess you were released from custody, promised to appear, did not appear. So the state's recommending a bond commensurate with the amount listed on the warrant, which is $5,000. Any objection from the defense, given the other hold?
No, Your Honor, given that he has the probation hold, well, we will like that bond for time credit. Thank you.
All right, your bond is set at $5,000. I'm going to schedule an arraignment for you in Superior Court on April 17th at 1:30. I'm going to appoint an attorney for you. Your attorney will be David Wilkerson. I've got the paperwork for you there. All right. No alcohol, no legal drugs, no weapons. For some reason on the order, it just lists 1 narcotic drug charge, but there's all the ones that I mentioned. All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you.
Myers?
Body amount of files. Okay. Is the state still working on recommendations for the rest? Because I guess they didn't come to the clerk yet.
Oh, yes, and who are we on now?
What's your name, sir?
Christopher Myers.
All right, Mr. Myers.
Oh.
You have a fugitive warrant out of Oregon. I'm going to appoint locally the legal defender's office. You ordered, this is for a robbery case. You ordered not to have any contact with any victims, do not return to any incident locations, of course, no firearms or weapons. The court's noting that the requested bond amount appears to be $3,000. And I'm sorry, there's actually more counts than I mentioned. The underlying warrant is for robbery in the 1st degree, robbery in the 2nd degree, theft in the 1st degree, assault in the 3rd degree, 2 counts of assault in the 2nd degree, and 1 count of unlawful use of a weapon. So you have a fugitive from justice warrant out of Oregon. So does the defense wish to be heard?
Your Honor, oh, go
Oh.
ahead, Liz.
I don't know if she wants to hear my recommendation first, and I apologize. I will
Oh.
send it over.
Sure.
I apologize. So the state is asking for $50,000 based on the risk that he's a danger to the community. He has prior felony convictions. He has the pending. They're serious charges. He is a known fugitive from Oregon, and to note that when he was arrested on this in September of 2023. He looks like he failed to appear for a plea hearing on February 26th. Further, it looked like the information from the interim complaint about the warrant showed that I'm trying to find this, and please, Leandra, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it said that he was also armed and dangerous. So with that, the state is asking for a $50,000 bond.
All right, anything from the defense?
Your Honor, I would just ask that the court impose the bond requested in the warrant. I believe so that was $3,000. We would just ask for that amount.
The thing is, the odd thing is that there's several documents here, and I want to make sure I'm reading this right. That $3,000 bond that I mentioned appears to be, it says El Paso, Texas, which I'm guessing is a different, maybe that's a different warrant I'm not seeing Mr. Myers on today. The warrants out of Oregon, Multnomah County, do not appear to list a specific amount that they're requesting. It says security amount, no security. I can interpret that one of two ways. Then it says hold pending appearance. So I can't tell if there's also a warrant out of Texas. All right, thank you. All right, the bond is unspecified, sir, but it looks like the charges and the failure to appear here should do a warrant to bond. I'm going to set that at $10,000. Your court date will be a fugitive warrant hearing on April 15th at 2:30. That will be here in Pima County. Thank you. Good luck.
Liking board? Hands your shirt, man.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, Carla, planning board.
Okay, so I understand that the defendant already has is held without bond. And you've got a large stack of cases here. Well, not large, a medium-sized stack of cases here.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with a felony matter.
Okay.
So you already held without bond on something that I'm not addressing today. On the felony charge, you are charged with one count of felony shoplifting from April 9th. You've got similar warrants for shoplifting and trespassing out of city court, and I'm going to order on all these that you not contact any victims, do not return to any incident locations. For the felony matter, I will appoint the legal defender to represent you.
Okay.
I don't have a written recommendation from the state, but what is the state recommending? And I assume the defense probably has no objection to a bonds given the hold without bond.
Your Honor, I was just requesting a no bond hold. I guess I did not see that, that the issues, I didn't know if she was detained without bond just because of she needs to go in front of the current, judge, and then there would be a bond at that time. So based on that she committed this while another felony, was pending, I am asking, the state is asking for a no bond hearing. Or for a no bond.
I'm going to ask a question because there's something and there's a book sitting next to me. I can look this up myself, a law book, but why am I thinking that a class 6 felony would not qualify for a no bond hold? Why do I think it's 4 and above? If I'm wrong about that, I'm not saying I'm right, but for some reason it's clicking in my head that it has to be a 4 or above. I'm happy to be corrected because I like to learn things when I come to court.
Your Honor, so it's my understanding under the Arizona Constitution that it just says a felony on release for felony when committing a felony.
Okay.
I don't know any statute or criminal procedure that delineates what type of felony. However, perhaps you're thinking about there is a statute that allows the state or the court to take a class 6 and bring it down, to make it a class 6 open.
No, that's not. Yeah, that's not what I'm thinking about. Yeah, I was
then
just thinking
that-
about
never
this very circumstance. I'm not sure why I'm thinking that. Okay. All right. So the state's asking to hold defendant without bond defense. she already held without bond for something else, but for the.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. She has a question. May I speak with her before making my argument?
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I've got a. Marty?
Yeah.
So for Miss Plagenborg, this is in there. This is a warrant for somebody else, Alyssa Thomas. This was in that file. I assume it's not the same person. There's a person named Alyssa Thomas coming up. You want me to take it back? Thank you. It's all right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Given that she's being held without bond on another case, I would just ask for a nominal bond of $500. She's indicating to me that she's a victim in another case and she has a lot of obligations for that and that she was supposed to be in rehab today. So in the hopes that the no bonds or being held without bonds will go away in the near future, I would ask for a nominal bond in this case.
All right, given the circumstances and your status on release, ma'am, I am going to hold you as required without bond for the felony charge. I'll set a quick court date for you on April 15th regarding that condition of release, specifically at 2:30. Your preliminary hearing will be April 22nd at 1:30.
So does that mean I'm in here till at least April 22nd?
Well, at least until the 15th. I don't know about the other charges. You've got more here. The problem is your history of just coming to court when you promised to come to court is this pretty horrible. So at some point the court doesn't trust your promise to appear. So we have to do something to make sure that you actually do appear, and that can be to set a bond, give you a chance to post it if you need to, or otherwise you'd remain in custody. But in this case, Arizona law requires that I hold you without bond because your risk of reoffense and the risk of not appearing is great.
So when do I get the other court date set?
Well, the other one, I don't know about that. I'm not seeing you on that today, so I can't answer that. But your attorneys can fill you in on that because you're going to have another attorney on your misdemeanor shoplifting case where there's a warrant. Since you have the other hold without bonds, I'm going to go ahead and release you on the Justice Court shoplifting charge and give you a review or a pretrial date in custody on April 15th at 1. Your attorney for that will be Robin Ald.
So I'm here until at least
maybe longer. Yeah, at least the 15th. Your court date, now you also have city court cases. You got warrants for failure to appear on 2021, shoplifting charges, warrant was issued back in September 2023, trespassing and criminal damage. Since you have felony holds, same thing for the city court case. So you're gonna have 3 lawyers, more than. And my pen croaked here. Here it is. Here's another one. Going to appoint the city public defender to represent you on these matters as well. Your court date will be what's called a non-transport review on May 13th at 2. Now, if you and your misdemeanor attorneys want to be seen in court sooner, let your attorney know. We can get you back to court right away. All right, good luck. Thanks.
Thanks. Okay, so I'm so confused.
And if the defendant's confused, I'm happy to repeat everything I just said.
I'm just gonna have a moment to speak with her
Sure.
if I may, Judge. Thank
Of
you.
course.
Yeah, I got your note. I'll let you know. And I was gonna send to you. Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Amanda?
Hi, what's your name?
Amanda Pro.
Can the jail confirm, just understand that defendant's on adult probation for a DUI case, whether there is a probation hold at this time?
No.
We are not showing one, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Excuse me.
Right. All right, please state your name again. Sorry.
Amanda Pro.
Hi, Ms. Pro. While on probation, you have new charges of 5 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and weapons misconduct, which is basically possessing a firearm as a prohibited possessor from March 21st. You have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. Your attorney will be the public defender. In order that you have no contact at all with any victims in this case, do not return to the incident locations. Possess no firearms or weapons. Pretrial Services is recommending release to their supervision. The state's recommending a bond of $5,000. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, we'd ask the court to adopt pretrial's recommendation, release her pretrial services. Ms. Pro is informing me that she thinks that she completed her probation successfully back in May. I know the paper says otherwise, but that's the conversation she and I are having. Additionally, it looks like she has employment as a loan officer and she does have housing. Given that, Your Honor, and no prior felony criminal history, the paperwork says that it was misdemeanor probation. The pretrial workup says misdemeanor. So for those reasons, Judge, we'd ask for a release of pretrial services.
And in your honor, if I may, and
Yes.
Miss Smith would not know this because of the way pretrial services set up their report. Yes, Miss Pro did plead to misdemeanors. However, it was a Superior Court case. It was we pled her though to a misdemeanor DUI and a misdemeanor I believe endangerment. I was the prosecutor on it, so it was a Superior Court case. It wasn't initially a felony arrest. However, we pled her to misdemeanors. So it's not that it was out of misdemeanor court. It did come out of Superior Court. I just want to make sure that the record's clear, and just so that Ms. Smith would not have known that. Again, the way pretrial services set up their report, I would have expected them to put the Superior Court number, the felony arrest, and then the misdemeanor plea, just so that everybody is on the same page. So I wanted to make a record because I'm aware of that because I was the prosecutor, and I didn't want to have information that Ms. Smith or Your Honor didn't have. With that, the reason for the recommendation is based on the nature and circumstances of the current offense and that there were juveniles involved with a firearm. Thank you.
And counsel, do you, because you're maybe familiar with the case, do you know, I'm getting conflicting information about whether the defendant is still on probation? So pretrial services is saying yes, and the defense is saying no.
Let me take a look. I can find that out.
Yeah, I don't expect you to, I don't expect that you'll simply remember that, but.
And I apologize. I just had her Superior Court case open on Agave, and I don't know why I closed it. So my apologies.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, it's coming up now. Again, I'm a computer so slow. So on April 22nd, 2022, he was sentenced by Judge Marner in Superior Court to, again, both felony or misdemeanor, sorry, to 2 years of probation, commencing April 22nd, 2022. So based on that, I think she has 12 more days unless they release early, but I would think that she would still have 12 more days of probation. And I can send this minute entry if you would like, Your Honor.
No, I don't need it. I doubt counsel expects that you would, mislead the court. So my only question is whether there's a subsequent order, terminating probation early.
Oh,
But if the defendant was saying that she was released from probation in May of last year.
Yeah, I don't see a probation release, and I see that she actually paid her, looks like she paid $66 to Superior Court on March 6th, 2024 at 3:20 p.m. for probation. There's a receipt up on Agave. That's the most recent filing that's been uploaded. It looks like that probation was paid $66 March 6th.
Okay, of this year.
Of 2024.
Okay.
It was posted March 6, 2024 at 3:20 p.m. And it was $66 check, and it says regular probation.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I agree with the court. I think Ms. Vargas has information, is providing the correct information. I have absolutely no reason to doubt that. However, Ms. Pro is telling me that she does not think she's the one that made that payment. The only other information that I can offer to the court, she says she has a mentally ill son at home, that she is the provider for. He has to take several medications. He's with her elderly mom right now. From what I understand, that arrangement's not working well, given the age of her mother and the conditions that her son's dealing with. So I would just add that as an argument to get her released so that she can be there with her son and care for him.
All right, thank you. I appreciate all the information from counsel, Ms. Pro. Obviously, the court's concerned about the nature of this offense as alleged, and the use of a weapon in the way described, especially with the allegation that you are prohibited from even possessing any firearms. So I'm going to set a bond of $3,000. I'm going to make it a secured bond, which should make it easier for you to post, especially I'm glad to hear that you're working and assuming you have some resources. So I think that's a reasonable bond for you. You will be supervised by pretrial services if that bond is posted. Your court date is a preliminary hearing, April 22nd at 1:30. Thank you. You're excused.
And Your Honor, I just sent the receipt. And so if Miss Smith could actually pass it on to the defendant, maybe that was somebody else did that for her, but so that way if she doesn't think she paid it, I sent it to all parties.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, may I mute for a moment?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thomas?
You're welcome. Well, what's your name?
Alyssa.
Can I have your full name, please?
Alyssa Thomas.
All right, Ms. Thomas, you have a felony warrant out of Maricopa County for a dangerous drug violation. You also have a warrant for failure to appear out of Pima County Justice Court on domestic violence charges. Offense date June 24th of 2022. The warrant was issued back on September of 2022. You were released and did not appear in court for a year and a half. On the felony case, pretrial services is recommending release to their supervision. The amount on the bond is $500. The amount requested on the misdemeanor warrant was $400. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, I would just ask the court to adopt the recommendation of pretrial services, given the nature of the offense.
All right, the court has very limited information. Ms. Thomas, it looks like the pretrial services report indicates that you were uncooperative. That's certainly your choice. I'm going to set a bond of $500 on the Maricopa County case. I'm going to provisionally appoint counsel to be determined by the Maricopa County Office of Court Appointed Counsel. Your review hearing in custody will be on May 10th. That's in the event that the Maricopa County doesn't pick you up. Then we're going to review that to make sure that you don't get lost.
So it's not extraditable?
Those charges in Maricopa County. Or that's just up to them if they want to pick me up.
I believe that's correct. I don't see anything either way on the order. So I'm gonna put on here that Maricopa County has up to 48 hours to pick you up or you be released. And you have to get your own court date at that point.
So will I be released today or just gotta wait the 48 hours?
No, you can get released if you or someone who trusts you posts the bond, you can get out today. But we have a second case as well.
Mm.
On the Justice Court case, I'm gonna set that bond at $250. You've missed court for a year and a half. I'm going to appoint Jenna Altschuler as your attorney and give you a court date on April 11th, which is Monday. Well, I thought if she has a hold, a felony hold, they want it later. So I'll do it tomorrow. I'll give you a court date tomorrow, April 11th at 1 p.m. Oh, I did say April 11th, but what did I say, Monday? Yeah, I'm not sure why I said, sorry about that. I had the date right, I had the day wrong. So you'll be seen tomorrow on that case with your attorney. No acts of domestic violence, no contact with any victims, do not return to the victim's residence or workplace. All right. All right, thank you, good luck.
Wadsworth.
Hi, what's your name?
Lacey Wadsworth.
Wadsworth, you're charged with possession of a dangerous drug, theft of means of transportation, and burglary in the 3rd degree. From on or about April 9th, you have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the county public defender. You have the right to remain silent. You're ordered to possess and consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. No contact with any victims in this case. Do not return to any incident locations. Court's going to follow the recommendation of pretrial services and release you on your promise to appear in court on your preliminary hearing date of April 30th at 1:30. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You're excused. Okay. I believe that is our last case for this morning.
That is it, Your Honor, on our end.
Could I, thank you. Ms. Farkas and Ms. Smith, do you have just like 2 minutes to hang on after we go off the record? I just have a quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, Your Honor.
Yeah, I don't mean to keep you. All right, so we'll go off the record.